Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Intuitive Wisdom Tarot. I'm Jen, and I'm so glad you're here. We are tapping into the full moon energy for fire signs. This is the first full moon of May, and it will be on May 1st in the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio energy goes deep beneath the surface, into the hidden, the unspoken, the emotional truth. This is where shadows rise, not to overwhelm, but to be seen, understood, and released. So take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Arrive here within yourself. Allow anything that's been building within you to come to the surface without resistance. This full moon is not about control, it's about surrender. It's about letting go of what you've been gripping tightly to. Old wounds, old patterns or attachments, or emotions that are ready to be transformed. As we begin, ask yourself, what truth within me is ready to be acknowledged? And what am I being called to release so I can transform? Stay open to what arises, any feelings, any memories, any insights. Not everything will be comfortable, but everything that comes up is here to move you forward. Be sure to tap like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I love connecting with you. Let's go ahead and jump in, fire signs. We're going to start with an oracle card from Moonology to get a general energy for fire signs around this first full moon in Scorpio. What message is coming through for fire signs? Thank you. And fire signs, we are getting for you, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn. So again, full moons are all about culmination, all about coming to an end. And again, when we're really taking a look at this full moon being in Scorpio, it's really tapping into the energy of this, maybe a very emotional cycle, right? That was tough, but it's coming to an end. So let's see what messages are coming through for full moon in Capricorn. This is for fire signs. Here we go. All right. The end of a tough cycle approaches. How hard are you willing to work for what you want? This card is reminding you that effort is required. Work issues may be about to come to a head when this card comes up. If you are wondering if you should stay in your job or leave, this card can be a strong sign to make an exit. The end of a tough time is forecasted. This card also asks you to consider how ambitious you are and whether you're prepared to pull out all the stops to make your professional dreams come true without being ruthless. With a love question, this card can be a call to face reality. Whatever situation you're asking about, making a plan will help. If your personal life is troubled, prioritize it more. Attune to the moon. Release control and trust the universe. Additional meanings for this card, place them where they resonate. A professional project may be ending now. Admit if you have been overly hard-headed or hard-nosed. Find a balance between your personal and private life. It's time to stop fearing the worst. All right, fire signs. So again, the end of a tough cycle approaches. This again could be very much a part of or a cycle within your professional life. And if you have been really inquiring about, do I make a change, right? Am I meant to exit? Exit meaning it's time to start something new, leave what's behind, right? This would be the time to do so. All right, let's go ahead and jump into tarot. And let's see what messages are coming through for the full moon in Scorpio. This is for fire signs. Let's see. Messages for fire signs. I'm getting, again, really you needing to pull some stuff forward. Like there's been some old patterning. You've Fire signs, you have grown and you have achieved so much. There's a big energy of you just really headstrong, moving forward, and I'm doing this. But underneath it all, there were some things that needed to come up. And this is really that time to really pull those old wounds up around career, around maybe that. If it was an emotional love cycle or anything like that. So again, this is that time. Pull it up because trust the universe. The universe is coming in saying, I want to help clear these things for you, right? This is that perfect time. All right, the first card that is out is the Seven of Cups. This is the energy that you are needing to embody as you are moving into this full moon. We have the Devil. This is the energy that you are needing to release. We have the Emperor. This is the energy you are needing to lean into. And advice from Spirit is the Empress. All right. So fire signs, we have 3 major arcana out here. So this is some pretty heavy stuff. So there's some pretty big themes coming through when we have lots of major arcanas coming through. That's really saying like this is a big turning point, right? This tough cycle may have been a cycle that you have been really working through and working on for several full moons or several months, years. It could very well be so. We do have the pair, the Emperor and Empress. This is divine masculine, divine feminine. This is a divine connection. So there could very well be some work on or some old wounds or patterns coming through related to relationships. But you're breaking free. There's a lot of things that are coming through. So let's go ahead and jump in. The bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups. This is the energy underneath it all. So this is an energy of flow, of emotional flow, of really allowing. Again, I'm getting the rising of some old patterns, some old attachments and emotions. And again, place it where it resonates. This could very well be in relation to your career. Could very well be some old emotional patterns and wounds towards your self-worth. And that could be within your career or it could be within a relationship. Cups are all about love too. So we could very well be looking at a relationship here. But underneath it all, there's just this energy of you, again, letting go, releasing, saying, I'm done holding on to this old stuff. I'm done holding on to these things that are deeply rooted, right? Because it's been tough. It's been tough to hold on to all of this. And you're not that same person you were when all of that wounding happened. And you fire signs, you've been reflective, you've been growing, you've been transitioning. There's a lot of different things coming through. And so this underneath it all is really telling like flow, receive, open up, allow the universe to come in and help, right? Give yourself to the divine, to the flow of life and the flow of what's happening, because there's some great things coming through. This is also, again, I'm getting a big energy of it's time for you to receive. When we look at any queens, we're looking at a receptive energy, an energy that's open, nurturing, and divine, feminine. And that's really what I'm tapping into. So some of you fire signs are out there needing to connect with the divine feminine. You're connecting with the energy. This could be somebody coming in to help assist you could be a career coach, right? If this is something that deals with coach or career, it could be your partner. It could be a mother. Like there's a very divine, feminine, nurturing energy that's here underneath it all to really help nourish you. And it's on a soul level, right? So it's nourishing you with your heart. This could be, again, some advice that's really coming through. Connect with water, connect with you, energy cleansing, right? So cleanse your energy. That could be maybe going to, I don't know, a spa, head spa, where they're using water to cleanse. Maybe you have made some moon water or are going to make some moon water for this full moon. Really tap into the healing elements of water. It could very well be you just go into your shower, right? Create a spa experience with that. I mean, I have a rain shower head, so I'm getting somebody who's standing under a rain shower head. It's trickling. If it's raining where you're at, go out and let the raindrops fall on you, right? That's a very cleansing, and that's really tapping into that energy of nature as well. All right, so the energy that you are needing to embody as you move into this full moon is the Seven of Cups. Again, this is a very emotional card. Seven is also a very spiritual, very introspective number. There's a lot of things that have or are coming through, right? They're either here or the moon, the full moon is coming in to say, look at all of these things. Like you have chosen a lot of things, you've gone a lot of directions, you have done a lot of things. And with each of those things that have come through, there are emotional attachments to that. However, there is some fog. There is some stuff that's kind of in the way of you seeing and feeling clearly. And so the energy you are needing to embody at this time is getting clear on what is it. I'm going to tap back into this end of the tough cycle approaches where if you're really questioning, do I stay or do I go? Whether it's a relationship, whether it's your career, whether it's whatever you have been working on, place it where it resonates. You need to really look inside, right? Is it an old wound that's speaking? I chose this. It created this emotional pattern or this emotional wounding, and something else has come through, but I'm getting kind of the same vibes off of it, but I can't really emotionally see or feel clearly on that. I need to be introspective. I need to look inside and go, is this coming up because it needs to be released, right? Is it something that I need to transform so that I can clear some of this fog? I can clear some of those things that are kind of clouding my judgment. And I'm getting like rose-colored glasses, like you viewing this through a lens that has been tainted because of the experiences that you have been through. But those things are holding you back, right? This is a shadow aspect that is needing to be released so that you can see clearly and go, absolutely, this is what I've needed, right? So right now, your energy, the energy you are needing to embody is to be willing to let those things rise, to be honest. There's an honesty with this, and to ask those questions, right? Are these old wounds or patterns that I am viewing this out of? And it could very well be, coming back into that career. So a lot of this is a lot of these are career or self-worth for you fire signs out there. The past, right, has created different outcomes from what you've chosen, what you hadn't, what you've experienced, all of those things, what you've resisted. And now you are to this point where you're like, But I thought me choosing this was what I needed, right? It was the end, and I was like, this is exactly where I needed to be. And so you're questioning that, like, but am I needing to be flexible, right? And that is a big energy, right? You're needing to flow, you're needing to be flexible, you're needing to let spirit in, because spirit is coming, giving you an opportunity to be able to say, okay, I'm clearing some of these, right? I have things that I need to choose, but I'm not seeing clearly with it. So I have to go through and I have to acknowledge that, right? I have to pull out some of those things. Remember, it's not going to be comfortable. A lot of these, when we think about old woundings, a wound hurts. But this is the time to be able to do it. And our Scorpio moon, Scorpio is a water sign, very intuitive, very deeply into the subconscious. Again, those emotions, all of those things that are unspoken that you fire signs have pushed down for safety, for being able to survive through your environment. But this is the time where it needs to come up. It's a big clearing, and that clearing is here so that you can move forward. It's the end, right? It's the end of this tough cycle. A lot of the work has already been done. Now it's just allowing it to come through so that you can clear it. I'm getting a big, again, what I'm envisioning is letting somebody meditating, right? And letting these things rise in a safe space. If that is for someone who, if you are one that needs support and assistance with that, maybe you're tapping into a counselor, right? This could be that divine feminine that's coming through, and giving yourself that ability to let these things rise and cry and scream and clench those fists and that jaw and allow that to come through, and then release. And that's kind of what I'm feeling like. It's going to be instantaneous when you finally allow this to come through, and then you're able to see and go, that is what I want. So this is a very excellent energy. It is going to be uncomfortable, right? You're going to have to feel some of those low vibe feelings. Be honest with yourself. Like when we're looking at that that number 7, it's just very introspective, but this is the time to do it. So the energy to embrace is really allow some of these things to come forward, really examine them, right? Acknowledge them, let them rise, and then let them go. That's because what is being released or culminating is the devil. Now, this is breaking free, breaking some chains, breaking some really deep-seated conditionings, some pessimism, maybe some negativity. But these are things that, right, you have been tied to. You have allowed these things to run the show. And you have done very well at being able to break free of some, but this is the end of that tough cycle. And so it's that last ditch effort to finally break these strings so that you are the one who's in the control. Now, again, when we think about the devil could be very much shadow aspects. And there's big misconception with shadow, right? We have light and shadow. That's what our emotions are, or what we deal with. We're human, right? And those shadow aspects are those lower vibe emotions and energies that a lot of times we repress, right? It's easier just to say, I'm going to swallow it and I'll deal with it later. Well, I'm getting a feeling that a lot of fire signs have done this. I'm going to swallow it and save it, or I'll deal with it later. Swallow it, I'll deal with it later. Because there were other things that were taking your attention, because there were other things that you were working on. And it wasn't a bad thing. It was just a habit that you started because you were moving forward. You were rising, and you're headstrong, and I'm going to accomplish this, which was beautiful. But now at this Scorpio full moon, This is the time to let all those things that you have pushed down, that you have set aside, this is that time to let it surface without the resistance, right? So it could be, maybe I'm getting some sound healing. I'm tapping back into that person who's meditating, and they have earbuds in, and you're doing some sound clearing. So do some some research on some of those healing frequencies, right? That could be healing creative wounds, right? This could very well be creative wounds or patterns, maybe some old attachments, right? This card could also, the energy is very attached. Maybe it was attachment to a particular outcome of what you have envisioned of you rising to the top in your career, right? And that's where you're at. But that attachment, you have created such an attachment to that it's become codependence. And now it's time for you to release that, because it's done what it's needed to do, and you're supposed to rise above. I mean, we do have the Emperor here. So you're supposed to boss it up. And so right now is that time to really pull that up in the surface. You can do this with meditation. You could do this with writing. You can do this with maybe exercise. I'm getting maybe doing some really vigorous exercising, some HIIT workouts, letting it sweat, right? That's that water I was getting to, sweat it out. But allow the stuff to come through and not to judge it, to allow it. Again, if you need to cry, right? It could very well be maybe you need to detox. Some of you might need to, it's either eating or doing like a juice detox. Again, be safe with it if that's what it is. And if you do need to go and talk to a medical professional, because there's, again, maybe some extra weight. That extra weight could also be emotional, right? As well as your body just wanting to hold on to the nutrients, right? I'm getting, you need to nourish yourself, right? Nourish yourself with water, drink your water, drink some minerals, some electrolytes, like I'm getting some really good juice. Maybe you're a juicer, right? Maybe that's what you need to start doing. But this is all in the essence of you releasing the attachments, you releasing the old wounds, the strings, right? These strings that have been attached to them. You're clipping them. You could very well do a ceremony where you are doing an old where you are writing out all of those things, all of those negativities, all of those attachments, all of those old wounds, and you're actually taking that piece of paper and cutting, right? You're cutting, you're figuratively and literally cutting those energies. So there's a lot of you, again, just clearing out. It's a fantastic energy. Again, they are heavier, right? They are the heavier emotions. They are that shadow aspect, which again, we have to have that. It's where you are learning from those. So all of those things that you're pulling up, you are needing to release them, but you are also needing to pull in, what is that lesson, right? What are the things that are going to help me as I'm moving forward after I have allowed these things to be released and I can transform them, right? I'm getting some alchemy too. So again, taking some of those old wounds or those patterns and looking at them, right? Being introspective, being truthful. Was I using it to keep myself safe? Was I using it because I was trying to survive? If that's the case, now what can I start doing to make it so that I'm releasing them? I'm transforming them. How are they going to work for me, right? Because that's part of what our shadow is. Our shadow's there to keep us safe. Our shadow's there to help us rise above. So right now, during this first full moon, especially in Scorpio, let those shadows rise. Let those attachments, those things, right, that have kept me bound, and clip them, cut them, use that to break free. Now, the energy you are needing to lean into is the Emperor. Now, this is where I'm getting a big bossed up energy. The things that you have been working on, the things that you have obtained, whether that's in your career or your relationship, they were there to get you to this point. And now Spirit is saying it is time to boss up. Now, this is a fire card. This is Aries. So this is fire, right? Use that internal spark. Use that fire, that drive. Lean into doing things that are helping you to feel empowered. And it's for yourself, right? There's also this big energy that you are in this position of being able to step into a leadership position, right? You have done what you needed to do. I'm going to tell this story. This is what Spirit keeps saying. My sister is an educator. She's a teacher. And she teaches, and she's a fantastic teacher. And she's been teaching, and this is something that she just has loved. And she has just immersed herself into teaching, designing lessons, doing all of that stuff. Well, here, there are positions coming through where she can step in to be the leader, right? Where she moves into more of a role of helping to help teachers, right? She has grown and has a lot of the experience behind her where she can step into that role to help teachers obtain the same type of energy she has. And that is what is being asked of you, air sign or fire signs. You are needing to do the same. So you, wherever you are professionally, in your career, some of you have done those things. You have strived, you have reached the top of where you're at. And now there is a position coming through where you can step into more of a leadership, more of saying, I am now going to be the guide. I am the one that's going to help foster what I have fostered within myself with others. And that's what you are needing to do. So lean into the energy of bossing it up, of feeling and knowing that you have the emotional and the physical and the passion, right, behind being the ruler, right? Being the person who is leading. And that's a big message right now. Now, lean into those practices that give you the opportunity to feel your leadership style, to feel or to cleanse, like, again, these old wounds. I'm keep getting these that are on your self-worth, right? There's confidence. So lean into confident building. It could very well be I need to read a book. If there are some, because there's several beautiful books out there that help with leadership, with confidence, with assertiveness. And those are healthy. Like, a lot of people might say, oh, that's real vain, or that's kind of conceited. Those are those patterns, and those are those emotions that are getting in the way. They're the ones that are clouding, right? You making these decisions. And it's time for you to break free from those. It's time for you to say, I am worthy. I have the leadership, and I know what I need to do moving forward. So really build that confidence, really build and lean into those practices that are helping you to build and to be the leader, right? Rewrite your story. That's a big message. I'm like, write out if there are old wounds and attachments coming through, write those out. And then rewrite it where you're reframing, or you are shifting those negative views into the positive, right? If you need to hang some affirmations, I'm getting some big affirmations too. Like if you're like, well, I don't know exactly what they are, just Google like positive or like power moves, or I got power moves. And maybe that's what you do. What are power moves? That's what you're supposed to be looking into. But empowering quotes and sayings, and hang them around your bathroom, around the places where you see them most, and say them every day, right? This is going to help lift that vibe and help you to continue to boss it up as you're moving through. Now, advice from Spirit is our Empress. Now we have, like I said, our divine masculine and our divine feminine. So there is a balance. If this does not have anything to do with a relationship for you, this is your own relationship. We all have masculine and feminine qualities within ourselves. You are to lean into, again, receiving, into letting you like birth, right? You're nourishing, you are creating a new world, a new energy, a new space. And so like attached to the cycles, we have our full moon here. And so this full moon is very significant. That's what's really coming up. So use this. That's what Spirit is saying. My advice is use this energy, because some of those things that are really deeply rooted, right? They're below the surface, right? It's time for you to bring them up. I'm here. I'm going to help, right? You're safe. You have, and you can, if you need to find anything else to help you feel safe through this time, you can find that. But you are birthing a new experience. This could very well be where you say, yep, it's now time. I'm going to step into that new role, right? It's time for me to leave this old one. And I'm starting to nourish that. I'm getting, again, a lot of water. Please drink your water and your electrolytes. Get on out and feel the sunshine, right? I'm getting some vitamin D, walking outside. I have wind in your hair, allowing you to, it's like blowing in these messages, these intuitive nudges, these things that are going, this abundance, right? That's going to come through, whether it's in ideas, because I'm getting some like mental stimulation, right? The Empress is all abundant in all areas. And so when we think about also the Emperor and Empress, right? They are all the kings and queens, right? So they are abundant in the material world, with our earth. They're abundant with the air, with the thoughts and the intellect and communications. They're abundant with the passion and the drive and the energy that they need. And they are like emotionally stable and sturdy and mature. And so you are balancing both of those. And that's a big message too. Masculine is action, right? Take that action, take that grounded, that very stable, sturdy, like I know all of those areas, action, and receive that which is coming through, right? She doesn't question her self-worth. And that's a big thing. I keep getting self-worth. Some of you fire signs are out there really questioning your self-worth. Well, Spirit is here saying, you are worthy and you are meant to do great things. Heal those wounds during this full moon. Let that stuff rise. Befriend your shadow. That was a big thing. Befriend your shadow and let them transform, right? Also know it's not going to be comfortable, but if everything was comfortable, we would never grow. And so allowing yourself to feel that uncomfortableness is accelerating your growth. And that's big advice. All right, fire signs, we're going to end with a Calm Club card. This is a mindful practice that you can implement and build a ritual around if need be for this full moon. Let's see what we are getting for you. And we have light it up. Introduce a calming scent to the room with a flickering candle or smoking incense, right? Our sense of smell is one of our most powerful senses. And so again, if there were any feelings or memories or insights that came through during this time, light a candle, light an incense, meditate on that, allow that to heal, allow that to help soothe, and create that environment so that you again can allow these things to surface, so that you can move forward. All right, fire signs, that's what I have for you for this first full moon in May. If there are any feel-good vibes you'd like me to send your way, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll surely send them your way. With much love and appreciation, be well. See you next time. Bye-bye.